Today we're going to have a look at the textures that World Blender has to offer. Now, World Blender Basics has these two textures and no texture in Material Node, so we're going to focus on World Blender Pro for this video because we have a lot more textures here as well as textures here. So let's go to the textures within the geometry nodes first. Basically, these 5 works pretty much the same way. So we need to have a look at one of these. So let's see the fractal chip. And we need to specify a vector. You can use the global texture coordinate or the local texture coordinate. Now I'm going to use the local texture coordinate here, like that. And let's have a look. There we go. We can increase the scale to make the texture a little bigger. Let's say 100. There we go. And you can increase the fractal level to, let's say, 5. And let's wait. There we go. And we have these 3 parameters to control the position of the texture, like that. So that's pretty much all about the 5 fractal textures of World Blender. So next, let's have a look at this texture. This is the radial texture. So let's put in the local texture coordinate and let's have a look. You need to increase this to, let's say, 1000. There we go. And you can move this to a different position like that. And then you can use this texture as a mask for a displacement like that. So let's delete this and let me increase the details as well as the roughness. There we go. So you see the texture is being used as a mask for the displacement. Now another thing I want to talk about is that you can actually warp this space using the space warp node here, or you can warp the landscape. Basically, warping the landscape will also warp this local texture coordinate. So you can actually drop in a warp landscape node like that. So basically this node warp the local texture coordinate, and then this local texture coordinate is used to generate this radial gradient texture. So we now have a distorted mask like that. We have a few more different kind of textures, but these are very simple. And the focus of this video today is not these textures, but the textures within the material nodes. So let's have a look at these next. Alright, let me get rid of these nodes first. Okay. And here I already applied an empty material for this plane. So let's go to the shader editor. Alright, this is the material of the landscape, which is pretty much empty. Now the first thing we need to do is to set the displacement mode for the material. So go to the material tab and go down to the setting panel and change this displacement to displacement and bump, like that. Okay, now let's have a look at this texture. We have this height output and the texture output, as well as a vector pass-through, which is pretty much passing this vector all the way here and then spit it out here. Right? So first, let's have a look at the height output of the texture. So before we can see anything, we need a texture coordinate. So we need to create one real quick. And in this case, I'm going to use the position texture coordinate here, like that. And I'm going to increase the size of the texture a little to, let's say, 1000. All right. And I can randomize the texture using this W input. This height output is actually the height information. It's like the displacement here. All right. So to visualize this height output, we need to create a displacement node. So create one displacement node right there and connect the height output of the fractal chip over like that, and set the mid level to 0 and connect the displacement here to this displacement of the material output. Now currently it's actually displacing the plane, but it's only displacing by 1 meter, which is nothing because this entire landscape is like 2 kilometers by 1 kilometer. So 1 meter is actually nothing, and we need to increase this to something a lot higher, like 500 meters. There we go. we start to see some kind of displacement here. So let's increase some more, 1000. There we go. And we can decrease the height offset to force the displacement to low down a bit, like minus 100 meters. There we go. And we can also increase the level to, let's say, 4 to add even more details. And you can increase it all the way to 5, right? If you put in a higher number than 5, it's not going to work. The maximum possible is 5 for now. So this kind of look like rock, but it's not there yet because the edges are a little too straight. And I want to kind of curve these edges a little. And in that case, I have this space warp in the utilities of the material nodes. So let's drop this space warp in like that. And it's gonna warp this vector. And we can visualize the size of the warp using this vector output right here. And in this case, I want the warp to be a little smaller. Let's say 25. And add a little more details, maybe 4. Okay, and let's see. Right now the color is a little too bright, so I'm going to lower the brightness of the rock, increase the roughness, as well as decrease the IOR level. Okay, so you see we start to see something that looks like rock and the edges are curved a bit. And I can increase the strength to warp the texture even more. And just like the displacement nodes here, you can chain together multiple texture. So let's drop in another texture, let's say the fractal cracks, like that. And you can connect the height output of this texture to the height input of the next texture, and then you can pass through the vector like that. Okay, let me zoom out a little. And the connection is wrong, so we need to fix this as well. There we go. Okay, let's have a look at the crack texture. Currently it's a little too small, so we need it to be bigger. Let's say 500. There we go. And let's set the fractal step to 2. The spread, let's leave it as that. And the height, let's say 50 meters. There we go. So you see it's cutting into the surface. So let's see. This is without the chips. You see it's cracking the surface like that. And you can chain the chip in, and there we go. You see it's creating some very nice cracking within the rock formation. So you see, with just like 3 nodes, we ended up with a very nice, believable rock formation. But this is nothing yet, because we have not used this texture output here. So we're gonna have a look into this next. Currently, this rock has a single solid color pretty much everywhere. So we're gonna be creating some color variation for this rock. And to do that, I'm going to use this fractal ridge node. And this time I'm not gonna warp the space, so I'm gonna just connect the position right into this vector, like so. And let's have a look at the texture itself. And let's set the size for this texture, let's say 25. Okay, and next we're gonna create a color mixer node, and I'm gonna use the soft light mix mode. There we go. And I will mix the base rock color with this fractal ridge, and I'm gonna put this into the color of the rock. There we go. Now we start to have some color variation within the rock itself, but it's not there yet. We need to add even more details to this. So let's bring this back here. Alright, and I'm gonna create another fractal chip, and again I'm gonna use the unwarped position texture coordinate. Alright, and again I will soft light this texture with the other soft light node, like that. And let's see the color, and let's configure the chip a little bit. Let's say 10. So you see we have even more color variation. Let me just increase the brightness a little so that you can see the details. Alright, the final step is to add some mineral spots to this rock formation, right? And to do that, we will simply use the built-in Voronoi texture of Blender. These textures are actually very useful, so don't forget to use these in your project. The textures that I created is like an extension to what Blender already has to offer. It doesn't mean to replace these, alright? So in many cases, you will find these textures super useful. Unlike these textures, the scale of Blender's texture is actually worked in reverse. So the smaller the number, the bigger the texture will become. So in this case, I want 0.2. There we go. So now we have these colorful spots, but we don't want the color, we just want one single channel. So we're going to create a converter and separate XYZ and create a color ramp. I'm going to bring the the black key to the right, like that, maybe a little more, to get rid of most of the spots. And now we can soft light these spots with the base color, and now we have this, right? So now we have some very nice little spots of minerals. So let's see. So you see the rock becomes a lot more believable. Let's see how many nodes we used. Just a couple.